Czech Prime Minister Mirek Topolanek has finally managed to form a government after 7 months of trying, but only because of 2 opposition defections, and he remains beset by other problems. Plans to base part of a US anti-missile defence system in the Czech Republic have drawn criticism from those who fear it will become a potential target. And the German EU presidency would like Prague to move forward on the EU constitution. But speaking to EuroNews, Topolanek remains optimistic about the future of his country, now firmly inside the European Union.
Just after your government received a vote of confidence in Parliament, you made a statement saying that talks with Washington would continue over hosting part of a U.S. anti-missile defense system. Why was it so important to say this right away?
This Anti-Missile Defense Act was already passed by the Clinton administration, and it stipulated the response to new threats that exist, including the anti-missile defense system. So it's been being prepared for a number of years. And actually, it is not just an American plan, but rather it's part of long-term NATO policy and even part of Russian policy as well. So it's not a new thing, but there's this anti-American sentiment among some Europeans, which is stirring things up.
But just that there have been some articles saying that Russia has said that such a defense system here in Central Europe could alter the military balance in Europe, could possibly start a new arms race. How do you respond to this?
I don't think we should be concerned about what Russia's defense minister Sergei Ivanov and the foreign minister Sergei Lavrov say, or what other Russian generals say. It's something that the Czech Republic and Central Europe is very sensitive to, that is, that Russia fears that it may lose influence in this part of Europe. I see a major difference between the SS-20 missiles with nuclear warheads aimed at European cities and a passive defense anti-missile system against rogue states and Hezbollah and other movements. So there is indeed this difference between attack and defense systems. A defense system to protect not only Europe, but Russia as well.
After meeting with German Chancellor Merkel on January 26, you said that the EU constitution should be more comprehensible, more transparent, and also should not disqualify the newer EU members. What do you mean by disqualify?
The new member states still don't enjoy freedom of movement or free access to the labour markets within the European Union. And I could give you other examples of disqualification where the new EU members don't have the same rights, even though they're not a threat. They don't even enjoy the 4 fundamental rights that the older members enjoy. One typical example of this disqualification is the Galileo European Satellite Navigation Project. The European Commission had implied that the project's new headquarters would be in a new EU member state. But at the last council meeting, we were made to understand that this was not definite. And this is the type of treatment that we are very sensitive to.
Well, no, I mean, does this type of, when you talk about, not to disqualify the new EU members, does this lead a bit to why you and your political party have been labeled often as Eurosceptic? I mean, do you think that's fair?
I find this label very insulting and just not true. And I think the aim of it is to try and silence those who criticize anything that the European Union does wrong. If it had not been for the votes of people who support my political party, we might not even have joined the European Union. And the Czech Republic becoming part of the EU has been anything but negative for the older member states. On the contrary, it's been positive. And even with this, they want to dictate what type of social and pension and health programs we should have. That's not acceptable for us. We think that the European welfare state system is completely outdated and cannot work in the 21st century.
After 7 long months of political instability. Your country now has a stable government. What, for you, are your priorities? And what, especially regarding Europe, is your priority for your government?
First, during those 7 months, there was a government, and it did govern. Regarding European Union priorities, well, we are at this time a typical European country, and I don't have a specific priority for the EU because we resolve problems on a daily basis, just like the other countries. But if there is one priority I have, it's to prepare my country for when we'll hold the EU presidency early in 2009. That will be a test and proof that we are a typical European country, capable of handling and resolving issues with our European colleagues.